Hi guys, it's nice having you around today for another exposition. Today we are looking at non-finite verbs under structure and lexis under grammar. Non-finite verbs. Now we've been on this series for quite some time. We've worked on finite verbs, and today we're going to be looking at non-finite verbs. Now these are the things we must have for 100% understanding of today's exposition. The first is basic understanding of parts of speech. It's very important to know that. The next is basic understanding of finite verbs. We talked about that already in the previous edition. And the next is 100% concentration. Now, these are the things we must take note of. Now, the first is a non-finite verb is a verb that has no direct relationship with the subject in a sentence, unlike the finite verb that has a direct relationship with the subject in a sentence. A non-finite verb does not have a direct relationship with the subject in a sentence. So the next is a non-finite verb. A non-finite verb doesn't play, or non-finite verbs don't play the role of a verb in a sentence. They are rather nouns, known as gerunds, adverbs or adjectives, which could be participles, either present or past, and infinitives in a sentence. Now, a non-finite verb could be a verb based on origin, based on where it came from, but it doesn't play the role of a verb in a sentence. That's the next. Then the next is non-finite verbs need the help of a finite verb in a sentence. Now, there is no way a sentence will make sense without the help of a finite verb. Non-finite verbs alone in a sentence can't make any meaning, except there's a finite verb assisting it to make a sense in that given sentence. So quickly, let's look at present participles and past participles. We said it already that finite verbs are not participles. We said it in the previous edition, or in the previous expositions, that finite verbs are tenses. They are either present tense or past tense. So today, non-finite verbs are not tenses. They are aspects. That is, they show if an action has been completed or if an action is in progress. So let's look at a couple of things here. Now, if you look at this, the present participle is also known as progressive aspect, or we call it the ing form, while we have the past participle, which is known as the perfective aspect, or the either to form. So when you look at this, now look at this example, we have writing. Writing is a present participle, and then written is a past participle. Now, don't forget the fact that these are not tenses. These are just aspects. They tell you if an action has been completed or if an action is in progress. So next you have drinking, drunk. Now, how do we easily get to know these things? You can use be, you can use has with them. She has written, I have done, and so on and so forth. Then the next you have is breaking, which is ing form, and broken. So let's look at a couple of examples. Now, don't forget the fact that there is no way a non-finite verb, I beg your pardon, will make any sense without the help of a finite verb. They can't just make any sense. And that's how we call them non-finite verbs. Now look at this couple of examples. Look at this. Number one, she likes writing professional exams. She likes writing professional exams. Now, if I cover up the likes, let's see if the sentence will make a sense without the finite verb there. She writing professional exams. Does that make any sense? No, it doesn't. So that's why we need the help of a finite verb for a non-finite verb to make any meaning. Now don't forget, if you look at the writing has no direct connection with a she. She is a subject. Rather, the likes, which is a finite verb, has a direct connection with a she. So as you can see, likes is a finite verb. Likes is a singular present tense verb. Now look at writing. Writing is a gerund. Writing is a gerund. As I said earlier on, that non-finite verbs are verbs actually. They are verbs by origin. But in a sentence, they don't play the role of a verb. Rather, they play the role of a noun or any other thing, noun, adjective, or adverb. So as you can see, she likes writing. This is what she likes. More or less like saying she likes oranges, she likes apples. But this time around, she likes writing. What does she like writing? Writing professional exams. So this is a gerund. Then everything is a gerund phrase. She likes writing. So writing here is a non-finite verb and it's a gerund. What's a gerund? A gerund is a verb that plays the role of a noun in a sentence. So let's look at the other one. He chose to speak for his parents. If I close the chose, let's see if it makes any sense. E to speak for experience. No, it doesn't make any sense. And that's why this is a non-finite verb. You have to add a finite verb to help it make any meaning or any sense. It chose. What does it chose? To speak. Now, to speak is an infinitive. It's an infinitive. It's an infinitive. It's not. Although it's a verb, you look at speak. Speak is a verb, but a verb with a to attached to it forms an infinitive. So it chose. What does it chose? To speak for his parents. That is that. So let's look at the third example. They leave the room walking on their toes. They leave the room walking on their toes. Now, they leave there is a finite verb. Now, how did they leave the room? They leave the room walking on their toes. Now, walking, if you look at walking, walking is a present participle. According to what we have up there, walking is under the ing format. So walking is a present participle, but this time around, walking is not playing the role of a verb in this sentence. Although it's a verb, but it's playing the role of an adverb of manner. As you can see, walking on their toes. How did they leave the room? They leave the room walking on their toes. More or less like saying they leave the room quietly. They leave the room hurriedly. But this time around, we are using the verb to express that. They leave the room walking on their toes. So the next we have, which is a final example, is I found broken toys in your room. I found broken toys. Now, what did I find in your room? I found. Now, found is a past tense. It's a finite verb because it has a direct agreement with the subject I. Now, what did I find in the room? Broken toys. So this broken here is an adjective. If you look at broken is a past participle, but it's playing the role of an adjective because it qualifies the kind of toys I found in the room. I found broken toys in your room. So this is a non-finite verb, and also it's an adjective. You look at it, a verb playing the role of an adjective here. A past participle verb playing the role of an adjective. So that's it for non-finite verbs. So non-finite verbs, they are verbs actually, but they are only verbs based on origin, but they are not verbs in a sentence. They are verbs though, but they don't play the role of a verb in a sentence. So that's it. So this is a take home. I want you to make me 5 sentences using non-finite verbs. So I would love you to make me 5 sentences. Give me 5 different sentences using non-finite verbs. Don't forget that non-finite verbs, they can be used directly with the subject, and they are either gerunds, participles, or infinitives. So if you find this very exposition resourceful, subscribe to the channel and share this very exposition. See you in the next exposition. Thanks.